going on, everybody? Nicholas Kuzmich here from nicholaskuzmich.com, just hanging out in beautiful Dominican Republic. We're here on our quarterly break. Hey, before I forget, if you want my personal help to grow your business in a much more easier and efficient way than you're probably doing now, or if you feel like you had a cap in your business and you're just looking to break through that cap, www.workwithnick.com is the way for you to fill out a brief application for us to be able to do that and discuss how I can personally help you kind of grow your business that way. Anyways, I'm here in Dominican on my family's quarterly getaway. Every quarter we plan, not too long, about 4 or 5 days, about 5 days actually, where we can get away with the kids, just relax, get some sun, kind of enjoy the palm trees, get the beach, all that sort of thing. Now, at first, I thought, especially when I first started my business, I thought that would be next to impossible to do. Why? Because I was in hashtag hustle mode, right? I was working like 80-hour work weeks nonstop because everything counted on me and I needed to do my best to get this stuff done. And then I realized something, that when you have seasons or moments of productivity and you balance those off with seasons of rest, here's my baby girl as we speak, seasons of productivity balanced with seasons of rest, you actually get more done in the seasons of productivity versus when you're hustle nonstop. I mean, I think this is a story. There's an old story of these two guys who were competing when they were trying to cut down, here's my baby, when they were trying to cut down trees. It was a competition between one and the other as to who could cut down the tree the fastest. And one guy was just smacking that, cutting that axe and swinging and non-stop kind of action, where the other guy was like swinging a few, took a break, right? Swing a little harder for a little while, took a break, and he did this over and over again. And then finally his tree went timber, fell down, where the other guy, who was literally cutting non-stop, didn't get that same kind of result or action. What was the difference? Well, when they went to the guy to said, like, how on earth did you do that so fast, even though you were taking these breaks when the other guy was working so hard and didn't cut the tree down? And he said, well, that was because every time I took a break, I was actually sharpening the axe. And I think there's something to say about that, right? Here's my boy. Hey. Okay, so I think there's something to say about that. When you're constantly in the grind, your axe gets duller and duller. And as a result of that, you can't actually be as sharp and productive anymore. Whereas when you set times where you're going to work your tail off, and hashtag hustle is the rhythm and the rhyme, and that's good, but there are also times, another balloon, yeah. But there are also times where you just set aside and say, you know what, I'm going to decompress. I'm going to relax a bit. I'm going to sharpen. I'm going to think about vision. I'm going to be thinking about these other things that are important in my life, family and all that stuff. Then when you do have the time to actually do that work, that ends up being far more productive. And so I don't this is just a family decision of ours for every quarter to go away and kind of recharge for 5 days. But I'm not just talking about like going on vacation. I'm talking about like one day out of the week where you rest and you focus and you determine what you're going to build out that week, right? Or maybe 1 hour a day where you're going to set aside some time and you're just going to chill out and you say, I'm going to think about what I need to do, for the rest of the day. So the point here is, if you are in a situation where you find yourself grinding a lot and yet still not feeling like you're making the progress that you would like, something to consider is, how do I reestablish and reevaluate our days just a little bit, or our months, or our years, or our quarters, or our planning, or whatever you want to call it, so that you can actually get more done. Hey, by the way, if you're serious about doing that in your own business, I call it finding your accelerator. This is the opportunity for you to like move beyond just like doing the grind all the time, but finding your specific accelerator, the thing where if you push the pedal down, you get a far greater, far faster result with far less work. And I'm not promoting being lazy. I'm just talking about, let's get more done with what we have rather than getting less done with, more of our time and valuable resources and all that. So if that's you, again, workwithnick.com, workwithnic.com. Fill out that brief application. Would love to have a conversation about how I can implement this in your business and help you find your leverage points and your accelerators so you can grow things to the next level. But again, the case in point here is, think about your family, think about your life, think about your lifestyle, think about all these things that you got going on, and then think about your business, of course, and then think about what are the things that I could be doing right now to leverage the most to get the better result? And again, in a society of massive hustle, and in a society where like working your brains out 80 hours a week is promoted and encouraged and celebrated, in a society where like families are falling apart because focuses so much on the business and the non-essential things that the family starts suffering. All these things are just things I think we all need to consider and say, A, how do I build a business around my lifestyle, which is important, and then secondly, how do I, rather than a lifestyle around my business, and then secondly, how can we interrupt seasons of massive productivity with breaks and refreshes and reframes and thinking and vision and higher level thought and all that? I think if we can do that, we're going to start to see far greater results. So again, if you're serious about that, workwithnick.com is the place to go for that. Again, workwithnick.com. But think about it, even today, why don't you take 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour out of your day to reframe, to think about what I could focus on right now that's going to get me the best result, help move things forward and get things forward that way, all right? If you can do that, I can assure you that you'll start to see far greater results, far greater balance in lifestyle, far greater results in family, far greater results in all these other things that might be of consideration to you. So anyways, Nick here, checking in from the Dominican on a break, but spending a couple of minutes here just to kind of share that with you as insight that hopefully you can gain from yourself. Workwithnick.com. I look forward to seeing you soon. We'll talk then.